In our last episode, we have talked about the different regions and zones in Cuba for tobacco growing. Now we know that our tobacco comes from the certified farms that have passed the strict control and they have the geographical origin. Today, we will talk about the two different methods of growing tobacco. Each leaf that goes in our cigar is grown with a special care and has a different destiny and purpose. When we talk about tobacco fields, there are two distinct forms of cultivating tobacco: the sun-grown and the shade-grown. First, let's talk about the sun-grown fields. As the name suggests, it's about the tobacco fields that are in the open. More precisely, tobacco that is constantly exposed to the direct influence of the sun and its benefit during its growth. And tobacco that grows on this type of plantation is used for filler and binder. This will be important for our next video, when we will be talking about the composition of Habano cigars and how they are made. Filler is usually made from 3 different leaves, and each leaf has its specific characteristics that are playing the particular role in the cigar blend. And each leaf has a different place on the tobacco plant that will determine his main purpose. So, the tobacco plant is around 2 meters high, and the 3 basic classifications of the plant leaves are: ligero, on the top of the plant, exposed directly to the sun, so nothing blocks the sun to hit the surface of the leaf for the whole day. Seco, in the middle. It still has some sun, but not as much as ligero, because there are some leaves above it. And volado, on the bottom of the plant, that has the shadow most of the day from the upper leaves. Each leaf has a different characteristic and purpose while making a blend. Ligero, full-flavored and slow-burning leaf is influencing the cigar strength and gives that a blend a body. The more ligero in our blend, the more strength and the body cigar has, with a huge variety of rich flavor. Second leaf that is placed in the middle of the plant is seco. Seco is a medium flavored, mainly responsible for the aroma. This leaf will give us that delicate sensation and distinguished aromas. And volado is a light flavored leaf that before all gives a good combustibility to the cigar. So, the right amount and the position will give the cigar ability to burn evenly, and that's very important. We talked about it. We can see that flavors grow on the open field. Let's talk about the shade-grown plantation. Now when we know that sun-grown plantation grow leaves for filler and for the binder, we are missing one more, leaf for the wrapper. So, shade-grown plantation, as the name suggests, grows tobacco in the shadow. The whole field is covered with a fine, thin muslin cloth that blocks most of the sun, but some rays of the sunlight filter through the cloth. It's also important to say that the heat is trapped under the cloth and the temperature is much higher than on the sun-grown fields. And that's why our shade-grown leaves will grow larger in the size. So, when we don't have a direct hit of the sun to our tobacco plant, leaves are much finer, smoother, and have a more delicate texture. And that is very important because this leaf gives the Habanos a final touch. When it goes under the process of curing and aging, wrapper leaf is very soft, flexible, and stretchy, which is crucial when you need to apply it on unfinished cigar. When we have a perfect leaf, it looks like this, a perfect smooth surface with no veins that gives a brilliant aesthetic of the cigar. When we talk about the influence of the wrapper on the taste of our cigar, I like to put it like this, very easy and simple. The bigger the ring gauge and the more strength cigar has, the less influence it has on the taste. The smaller the ring gauge and less strength cigar has, the more of the influence on the cigar taste. So today we covered one important topic, and now we know the difference between the sun-grown and shade-grown tobacco and their purpose in a cigar blend. See you next time.